You made it! Welcome, ladies and gents. Richard Goldrock here. I have a question. What is the meaning of life? Philosophy of life. Philosophy. Popularity. No, that's not it. Philosophy of life. There you go. Philosophy of life. Let's have a look. Okay, scholarly articles, pictures, videos. There you go. What is the philosophy of life? A philosophy of life is an overall vision or attitude toward life and the purpose of it. Human activities are limited by time and death, but we forget this. We fill up our time with distractions, never asking whether they are important, whether we really find them of value. Let's have a look at value. Value, copy, paste. All right, value, philosophy. There you go. Value theory, Wikipedia. Value theory. In the social sciences, value theory involves various approaches that examine how, why, and to what degree humans value things, and whether the object or subject of valuing is a person, idea, object, or anything else. Within philosophy, it is also known as ethics or axiology. Traditionally, philosophical investigations in value theory have sought to understand the concept of the good. Okay, let's have a look at the good. Okay, the good. Good philosophy. There you go. Okay, good. Wikipedia. Wikipedia is always the answer. In most contexts, the concept of good denotes the conduct that should be preferred when posed with the choice between possible actions. Okay, so a state of preference. So, my take from this is the actions and objects which put me in a preferred state are the things which are good for me. Actions and objects being the valuable tools at my disposal, while the preferred state itself is the item of value to me and my loved ones. Doing your best for loved ones, a future video. So, why is understanding value important for personal finances? You see, life isn't black and white, and there isn't a formula nor a binary switch which allows you to have one or the other. It's more like a spectrum of colors, and you have control in the form of a smorgasbord with multiple dials. In other words, more of this and less of that, a little less of these and a little more of those. You see, you get to choose how you live your life and to what extent. Understanding value merely aids the decision-making process towards living a most colorful life you can possibly have. So, how do we initiate the value-creating action? Step 1. Define value. What is valuable to you? Start by thinking of your preferred state, whether it be spending time with family, laughing, relaxing, loving, being loved. Write these things down and never forget them. These are the most valuable items. Everything else is subsidiary to this. And now work backward from there. Think of the objects and actions necessary to obtain and maintain that state. Waking up, going to work, cash, title deeds, investments. Write these things down. These are the most valuable tools in your life. If this concept is hard to grasp, try this analogy. You're stuck alone on an island. You manage to salvage one bag. It's full of cash. You're ecstatic. But you slowly realize there is no one to buy things from and no one to share it with. You see, cash is not the valuable item, but merely a tool to get you to the most valuable item. And in the case of the stranded soul on an island, cash is rendered useless. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. You can attempt to love it, but it can't love you back. People who love money don't realize that they merely love the tool that it is and have lost sight of what that tool's purpose is, i.e., to reach a preferred state of well-being. Annoyingly, the severe importance of the tool's necessity is often the biggest distraction from true value. Understandable why people lose sight along the way. For the sake of completeness, let's continue defining the meaning of value by having a look at it from a business, commerce, and financial perspective. Definition of value in finance. Value is the monetary, material, or assessed worth of an asset, good, or service. The concept of value in the financial world is extensive and includes such definitions as intrinsic value, a measure of what an asset is worth arrived at by means of an objective calculation. The value of a firm or asset, this is the net asset value or NAV of an investment company, which is the company's total assets less its total liabilities. Shareholder value, the value delivered to the equity owners of a corporation due to management's ability to increase sales, earnings, and free cash flow, which leads to an increase in dividends and capital gains for the shareholders. Fair value refers to an asset's sale price agreed upon by a willing buyer and seller, assuming both parties are knowledgeable and enter the transaction freely. Market value, the price an asset would fetch in the marketplace, or the value that the investment community gives to a particular equity or business. Definition of value in commerce and marketing. Monetary and cost value. This is the actual amount paid for an object. For example, if you paid $5 for a hammer, then the hammer is worth $5. Functional value, the usefulness of an object to you. What use does the hammer have to you? What problem does the hammer solve? This is a subjective measurement and is subject to the individual circumstances. For example, let's say you could pay someone to dismantle a shed, $1,000, or you could do it yourself with your hammer. You can now see how valuable the hammer is to you. Exchange value, the usefulness of an object to someone else, and is therefore the price that that individual is willing to pay the holder of that object in order to obtain that use. This concept ties into market value, where there are multiple participants and multiple comparable objects. I feel there is an ethical dilemma here, where fat cat corporations purchase rights to commodities not for the functional value, but merely for the sake of exploiting the exchange value by reducing the supply and therefore pushing the price up to extortionate levels. We'll cover this in another series. Esteem value. This is the additional premium an individual attaches to an object as a result of how the object makes them feel. For example, if Thor himself held the hammer, you would feel the need to hold such an object, and so would everyone else. Step 2. Rank and prioritize. Take your list and order them in a fashion which places your most valuable items first. This will help orientate yourself towards the most valuable tools necessary to obtaining your most valuable items, i.e. your preferred state. In other words, you will be significantly more likely to spend time where it counts, take actions that matter, and desire belongings of importance. Here's a helpful tool I've created for you. I call it the priority cube. Consider the legitimacy, power, and urgency of every action you take and every matter at stake, including those actions taken by others against you. Another concept which could help is the priority matrix, where you plot your tasks in a matrix by rating the level of effort a task requires along the x-axis and rating the impact the result of that task would achieve along the y-axis. Divide the matrix up into 4 quadrants. Now, with your full range of tasks scattered along the matrix, consider tackling those tasks which require little effort but achieve great impact, and leave those tasks which require large amounts of effort but make very little difference to your life. There's a financial trick here. Can you see it? Imagine you have the ability to shift tasks from the worst off quadrants to the best quadrant. This is what passive income does for you. Step 3. Create value. The act of bringing value into existence, i.e. taking action. 5 components: partners, resources, activities, processes, and outputs. So, creating value can be defined as the activities, of arranging people and material objects, partners and resources, in a manner, process, whereby the end result, output, is of greater value than the original state. Quoting Aristotle, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. For example, lithium iron in the ground has little value to you, but organize people to mine the elements out of the ground and process it into your phone or car. Now we have something of value to you. Porter's value-added chain is a great concept to master. Go check out his videos. But in summary, every action or any part in existence should only be incorporated into the process should it add value to the end result. Step 4. Deliver and capturing value. Ensure the hard work above reaches its intended destination within a timely and efficient manner by choosing the right medium through which you deliver the newly created value, trusting and empowering the right participants to transmit and hold your value, measuring and monitoring performance along the way, implementing iterations where necessary into the 3 steps above. Ensure that the intended recipients are protected and that the value is not eroded away by being aware of leeches lurking for a slice and keeping those parasites at bay. Read the small print. Ensure you are covered. Ensure you understand your rights and obligations. Ensure you have sufficient enforcing power to safeguard and be aware of power against you. Ladies and gents, this installment became much more philosophical than I expected, but it's imperative you have a thorough comprehension of value before moving on to the fun stuff, such as record keeping, cash flows, budgets, forecasts, as this knowledge will form the basis of your decision making and direction going forward. I trust this is okay. Thank you, everyone. If you have liked the content of this video, and only if you've liked it, please tap the like button and subscribe for upcoming messages to my younger, foolish me. Okay, scrolling down a bit. What does 42 mean in the meaning of life? Here you go. 42.